The sun dipped below the horizon, leaving the dense oaks and tangled underbrush of San Antonio Creek shrouded in shadow. Elise had always been drawn to the macabre, and the legend of Charman, a ghostly figure said to haunt these woods, was too enticing to resist. Armed with only a flashlight and her phone to document the experience, she ventured out alone, waiting for the faint trail that hugged the edge of the creek. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and charred wood, an unsettling combination she chalked up to her overactive imagination. The stories always described Charman as the tormented ghost of a man who perished in a fire, his burned and disfigured form forever wandering the area. Elise tried to brush off the unease prickling at her skin. Urban legends were just that, stories. The trail narrowed and the gurgling creek became a whisper in the distance. Her flashlight flickered, casting distorted shadows that danced among the trees. She stopped to adjust the batteries, her breath visible in the sudden chill. And that's when she smelled it, smoke. Acrid and sharp, it filled her nostrils, making her eyes water. She looked around, but saw no signs of a fire. Then, faintly, she heard the sound, a raspy wheeze like someone struggling for air, carried through the stillness. Her chest tightened as she scanned the woods, the beam of her flashlight trembling in her grip. The noise grew louder, accompanied by the crunch of footsteps on dry leaves. Elise's pulse quickened, her heart hammering against her ribs. She took a step back, her foot catching on an exposed root. She fell hard, the flashlight skittering out of reach. In the darkness, the wheezing sound closed in, now almost inhuman in its intensity. She scrambled for the flashlight, her fingers brushing against the cold, damp ground before gripping it. As she raised the beam, her breath caught. A figure stood just beyond the edge of the light, its outline warped and mishappened. The smell of smoke intensified, and the figure's skin seemed to glisten unnaturally, like a molten wax. It moved towards her, each step slow and deliberate, as if savoring her terror. Without thinking, Elise bolted, the flashlight bouncing wildly in her hand. She didn't look back, the sound of her own panicked breaths drowning out everything. The smell of the smoke clung to her as she reached the safety of her car and slammed the door shut. Driving away, she glanced in the rearview mirror, half expecting to see the figure pursuing her. But the road was empty, the woods eerily quiet. Still, the scent of smoke lingered in her nostrils, a reminder that some stories might not be so far from the truth.